Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. So it seems that Tony Morris is not going to commit to actually declaring who they are of Thessalonians 5:3. Wise? Probably. You wouldn't want to put your head on a chopping block, would you, at this stage now, and say specifically they are referring to whoever. But I'm curious, always have been. And I want to examine why I think this could be referring to perhaps the United Nations. I will use the word perhaps. I'm going to look at it again and read it again whenever it is that they are saying. Now, previously, when I was a young boy growing up as Jehovah's Witness, I always believed that they were the world at large. You and me. That we would be yearning. It was this yearning that we wanted in the time of the end. And this yearning we would hope that God was listening to. And so he would act. But if you break down the scripture even more than that, you have to come to the conclusion that those that they are referring to as they are trying to sell a deception. So if they're trying to sell a deception to the world, then they can't be the world at large. They can't be you and me, the average people of the earth. How can they be? Why would we, as average people, want to sell a deception? We wouldn't want to do that, would we? What we would want is to request that we have peace in the world. So we would be yearning for it, but we would not have the right to declare it. None of us would. So this has to be referring to an organisation or a group of people that are the controlling, ruling authorities of the world in the time of the end, who want to fool the world. They want to sell a lie. Now I can only think, after listening to Phil Snyder's video, that the UN fulfill that role. Now Tony Morris has not gone on record and he's not going to say this. He wouldn't dare say that the UN are they, because he could get it wrong. But if you really look at it, you'll realise that the UN will play a later role, because they are that disgusting thing, aren't they? That stands in a holy place. They're pretending to be an organisation that is capable of bringing true peace and security, but they fail. It is only God's messianic kingdom that can do this. Again, Tony Morris is very guarding. He's not saying what perhaps he feels in his heart at this stage. He probably deep down does believe it will be the United Nations that are referring to as they. Satan and his earthly hordes and the image of the beast that will play out the final stage and play. And then unknown to them, they will do something that they will perhaps never normally do. Although, when I say this because I've recently looked into Phil Snyder's whistleblowing video, and it's now become clear to me that the United Nations will be part of bringing this one world government, this great reset, and they will try, and I do believe this sincerely, they will try to get everybody to pay some kind of homage and some kind of worship to Lucifer before his final days of his abyssing. I still believe that Lucifer wants to taunt the true God in the time of the end. I do believe that he'll do this by pointing to mankind in the final last days and saying they did not want to serve you. In fact, they wanted to serve me. And look how many did serve me in the final last days. And this is that taunting that I have previously referred to. And then this will be that final wager where a group will emerge because they truly wanted to be a Christian, they truly wanted to serve God for the right reasons. True peace and security is going to be a very, very focal point this year, the rest of this year. We're still engaged in the conflict. China could enter into the time frame of this conflict, which I do believe is very, very possible. You can't say that that won't happen. It's not a give me, it's not a gimme for sure, but there are strong possibilities that China at some stage, and according to George Soros, who went on record, and I do have a video of that statement where he says that China will be part of the New World Order and they will own it. So why did George Soros say that China would own the New World Order? Well, that's because China, being that communist blockade country, don't believe in democracy. And this would suit the modern day Nazis. I call them the modern day Nazis. These are the world global elites. And you know who they are. So this would suit their plans to use what China and how China keeps their people in their place. I think secretly these modern day Nazis admire the CCP and how they get their population to do just so. That is why I believe that China will be instrumental in this New World Order. But we just have to hope that as God is looking on and seeing how mankind is imploding at this stage, we just have to hope that he stops them in their tracks. And to do that, he would have to wipe out their finances, because they can hardly carry on with their New World Order plans if they don't have money to do it. So you might say that the Great Tribulation that is coming will be a blessing in disguise. It will be something where God can use to stop what is likely to be maybe a human reduction, population reduction. Interesting times we live in. And we just have to wait, and we just have to hope that as things are unfolding, we just have to hope that we find that narrow road